And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 2021 NOSSCAR GT Cup Series hosted here on Gran Turismo Sport. We are here at Dragon Trails, the Gardens layout for round 7 of the season. It's 20 race season, 60-minute endurance races with no custom tuning to these cars, and the balance of performance setting Gran Turismo offers is on. Green flag is in the air, green lights are on. The Canadian Ned and the Dodge Viper, this year's Rolex 8 winner in the GT Cup class. He leads them down through the first couple of turns with Jesse Carlson in the number 48 Chevy Corvette right behind him. And Mazda Atenza of Bill Baldwin, the 21 car, scored in third. The Rolex 8 winner for the Super GT class, GR1 cars, that's Ty Mack, 2018 NOSSCAR World Champion as well. He scored in the 4th place position, former NOSSCAR champion on NASCAR 15, and that is Juicy J, runs in 5th. I'm just going to go ahead and call this driver Fab out of the USA, scored in 6th. The Taxia scored in 7th. Bowman Nation scored in 8th. And a great start for Crazy Legs, 16 drivers on the start of this race. He's up to 9th, and Shadow in the Ferrari rounds out the top 10. Love the classic Dale Earnhardt paint job on the Bowman Nation machine. But meanwhile, back up front, the battle for the lead is on. Ed coming around to lead the first lap. He's only got one turn left, and it's that U-turn up here, the left-hander. Come up the hill a little bit, get hard on the brakes here, and then let the car rotate through the middle, the apex of the turn, and then swing it back down to the inside and hammer on the throttle. Go over that rumble strip if you want to, at the bottom there, and then accelerate down the front straightaway. That was the first lap. Here in this one, Jesse Carlson getting really close there. The draft does play into effect here. It's definitely going to be a factor on 2 different straightaways on this circuit. Great shots of these cars. There's Juicy J in the 18 car. He's had a lot of great runs this season, and looking for another here today at Dragon Trail. And Wolf Fap just behind him, got a little bit out of shape. He held on to it in the Porsche. Great save there by him. And he's knocking on the door of a top 5 spot in his debut race in the NOSSCAR GT Cup Series. Again, folks, 60-minute endurance races, no custom tuning to these cars. And the balance of performance setting is turned on, so the horsepower and the weight of all of these cars has been altered just a little bit to keep them even more evenly matched. And as we see, the leader, Ned, gets his right side tires off in the gravel trap that allowed Bill Baldwin to take a look for the race lead, but was not on the inside for the next corner. Had to lift a lot, and because of that, Jesse Carlson in the 48 Corvette had a huge run on Bill and was able to take 2nd place back. Bill had just finished completing that pass about a half a lap ago. Action all over this racetrack so far, and we're just getting started here, completing lap 2. Long way to go in this one, and these long races, these one-hour endurance races, it really opens the door for some pit strategy. Some drivers try to push to make it on 2 stops, pitting at the 20 and 40-minute marks of the race, and some drivers electing to stay out as long as humanly possible and push it for a 1-stop strategy, pitting at about the 30-minute mark, halfway. Very rare, but sometimes we see the drivers pit at the 15, 30, and 45-minute marks and push it to a 3-stop strategy. We've seen JRB do that sort of thing before. We also saw the Argentinian driver Nikito going for that strategy, and it was going to come down to him and even Steven just a couple of weeks ago, but Nikito had an engine failure. DNF'd out of that one. Tell you what, the battle for the lead is raging on, folks. Jesse Carlson still looking for that very first NOSSCAR GT Cup Series win. He's the driver in the 48 Chevy Corvette and looking pretty strong here. He's been passed only once in this race, and it was by Bill Baldwin about a lap ago now. He was able to capitalize on a mistake by Bill. When Bill challenged for the lead, he was able to take 2nd place back and get around the 21 Mazda Atenza of Bill Baldwin, and since then, he's been right back in the draft with Ned and just kind of hanging out there. Dodge Viper of Ned was very smooth. As we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Rolex 8 winner for the GT Cup class this year. Rolex 8, of course, an 8-hour endurance race at Circuit de la Sarthe at Le Mans. And Ned and Footman, his teammate, drove the number 24 Dodge Viper to the victory in the GT Cup class. And since then, Footman has missed a race or two. He's missing this one as well. So Ned is left on top of the point standings, trying to defend from drivers like Jesse Carlson, Bill Baldwin, Even Steven, Ty-Mac, and more. Juicy J as well. He's, hanging in there tough. He's dropped back to P6 now. The rookie Fab in the Porsche was able to work his way around him for position just about a half a lap ago. Juicy J gets a good run on the bottom, and he's going to retake P5. And textbook pass there, well done. Both drivers played nice. You could tell Fab didn't push the issue, didn't pinch him down or try to cut him off. Gave him a lot of room. Respect with Juicy J and the fact that he had a good run in a lane there to make the pass. Ataxia in the Audi R8 scored in 7th. Shadow in the Ferrari running in the 8th position. Bowman Nation runs in 9th, rounding out the top 10. Crazy Legs in the number 42 Chevy Corvette. Getting word that we only have 13 cars left on the racetrack. 16 started from 4 different countries. We do want to apologize as well. We were unable to bring round 6 of the GT Cup season to you live, but it was Even Steven winning that one. And it was Pex BR out of Brazil finishing in 2nd, a career high for him. And Ty-Mac, the final driver on the podium. So 3 different countries represented on the podium last week at Monza. Right now we've got 2 on the podium here. The dark horse here could be Ty-Mac. He's in the Nissan GTR, as well as Juicy J, his teammate, who's running in 5th, not too far behind him. And their strategy seems to be just keep it clean, keep the leaders within striking distance, within sight, take care of the equipment and get to the finish of this race. And Bill Baldwin nearly went off-roading there. Good save for him in that Mazda Atenza. He was challenging for the lead again, and again nearly lost 2nd to Jesse Carlson as a result of kind of failing to take the lead from Ned. Every time he gets a run on that number 24 Dodge Viper, he just can't seem to be on the right side of him, the correct side of him, going into the next turn. He's always on the outside line for that very next corner once he makes that move. One of these times, though, it's got to work out for the Godfather, Bill Baldwin. Ooh, took a very fast approach up that hill to this last turn on the circuit. They're coming down the front straightaway now to the start-finish line, and Bill Baldwin's going to lose the 2nd place position again to Jesse Carlson, and that's going to open the door as well for the 32 Nissan GTR of Ty-Mac. He took a look going into turn 1 for 3rd and couldn't quite get the job done. The grip wasn't there, falls back in line in 4th. 1st through 4th all in a line here, nose to tail, with Juicy J running in the 5th place position, gaining ground on the top 4. GTR is looking strong here today. They're running 4th and 5th. They're the highest running manufacturer that has 2 cars in the top 5. For example, Corvettes are running in the 2nd and 8th place positions. 2nd, 8th, and 9th actually. And the Audi R8s are running, I believe the Audi R8s are running in the 6th and 10th place positions. And yes, that is the case. And we can tell you that the 2-time NOSSCAR World Champion, Even Steven, in the number 15 Audi R8, has pulled off the racetrack with some sort of mechanical failure, and he is done for the day. He's going to finish in the 10th place position, and we only have 9 cars left on the racetrack here at Dragon Trail. Ned doing everything he can to make that Dodge Viper as wide as possible. He's got Jesse Carlson and Bill Baldwin still hounding him for the race lead, and really it's been going on since the very beginning of the race. Jesse Carlson with a bold move to the bottom. Bill tried the same move there a couple of laps previous to this for the race lead and couldn't get it done either. Ned doing everything he can to power down and hold on to the lead. There's been a few times where these drivers do get alongside him, but they just can't seem to complete the pass. They're not in the right line for the very next corner. They're doing a great job here holding on to the race lead. Coming up on a lapped car there, it's Bowman Nation in the 8th place position. The attrition in this race has been wild, actually. Down to 9 cars on the racetrack, and we're watching 5 of them battle for the race lead. Juicy J is now there in the number 18 Nissan GTR. Ataxia in the Audi R8 scored in 6th. Shadow scored in 7th. We can tell you that Fap is now out of the race, and he will finish in the 11th place position. Some sort of failure on his end of things as well, and that is a shame. He was up there running in 6th, and if these leaders kept battling the way that they have been, he might have been able to join them. Timac ran them down. Juicy J ran them down. It's now a 5-horse race for the lead. The Dragon Trail, and we're working the 12-minute mark of this race. And we're going to rewind. Actually, there was a big problem on the number 48 Chevy Corvette as you, whoa, got on the throttle a little too much, leaving that corner. All 4 tires got off into the gravel trap, and he's going to drop from 2nd all the way back to 4th. Minor contact made there with he and Juicy J. Juicy in that number 18 Nissan GTR, and that's big here. That's huge because they're not far away from their first green flag pit stops of the race, and the track position is going to become more and more critical as the minutes wind down. And now Jesse Carlson in the 48 Corvette finds himself in the 5th place position, the furthest down the running order, the leaderboard that he has been all race long. And that's a heartbreaker. And that leaves Ned with the race lead, but it doesn't leave him comfortable. Not in the slightest. Bill Baldwin in the Mazda Atenza right now actually trying to make a move on Ned. And again, just can't get the power down on the exit of these turns to stay beside Ned and complete that pass going into the next corner. Ned doing a great job using the power of the Dodge Viper to hold off the arguably better handling Mazda Atenza and Nissan GTR of Timac. Question is, when do they come down pit road? Here comes Timac taking a look on the inside of Bill Baldwin. That would be for 2nd. No longer there. They're all going to be single file down the long front straightaway here at Dragon Trail. And it seems like the lead, the battle for the lead is never ending. And whoa! Contact there. Bill Baldwin got into the back bumper of Ned, and Ned nearly lost it over there in that left-hand turn. They're coming downhill as well for that turn. Bill might have some front-end damage because of this, and miraculously Ned was able to take the lead back. Timac nearly got a gift handed to him here at Dragon Trail, nearly took the lead away from Ned and would have been the first one all race long to do so. Oh, close quarter racing in a very narrow section of the racetrack. It's very much one grooved through there, one line for racing. And Ned hangs on. The Canadians were running 1-2 and now 1-3. Never mind, Timac still on the inside of Bill Baldwin, not giving up. Might be a little bit of front end damage to the 32 GTR as well. These guys are fighting hard out there. Timac with a run down the long front straightaway, and he's gonna do it. He takes the lead from Ned, and he's the only driver to take the lead from Ned all race long. We're working the 16-minute mark of this race and put the 32 Nissan GTR up front. And while all this is going on, Jesse Carlson in the 48 Corvette back into third. He made a move on Juicy J just a couple of turns ago. And the top 5 are all still lined up nose to tail. Whoa, big move by Ned. Goes to the bottom. And the crossover move by Timac. He tries to put the power down, but the Dodge Viper is probably going to win this drag race, and he does. Ned retakes the lead. You're a Dragon Trail, and the fans are loving it. Allow Jesse Carlson to come back. He's in the picture there in the number 48 Lowe's Chevy Corvette. Juicy J in the 18 Nissan GTR. And Bill Baldwin in the 21 Mazda Atenza in 5th, beginning to fade a little bit as they are still side by side for the race lead. Coming up the hill and into the final turn. Oh, a little bit of drift action there. The 2 Rolex 8 winners running first and second here, and Jesse Carlson nearly made it 3 wide. Timac leads that lap by a nose. Ned's going to try going into turn 1 to the bottom to take the lead back. He nearly slid up into the side of the 32 GTR. They all held onto it. Bill Baldwin, the first to hit pit road, and this is at the 18-minute mark. So this is early, folks. Bill's coming down. Get tires and fuel to see if he can undercut these drivers, having the fresher tires much sooner, so he can take the lead based on pit strategy. I like the call. I'm thinking it is going to be a 2-stop strategy here, and if I'm correct, then why not pit a little early for that first stop? Maybe even for both. See if you can put those 4 fresh tires to good use here, Dragon Trail. Crazy Legs goes a second lap down, running in the 9th place position. And Ned comes to pit road, surrenders the race lead. Juicy J stays on track. Timac stays on track. And the leaderboard on your left, folks. Track map upper right. And lap times for the driver we're currently riding with. Mid-right on your screens. They are working lap 13, 9 cars left on the racetrack. 16 cars started the event, so we've had a lot of attrition here in this one. Ned off pit road, and it was really big there to see who would be in front of who when it came to Bill Baldwin and Ned, because Bill came to pit road very early with the hopes to undercut these drivers, get the position, and that way he wouldn't be stuck behind Ned anymore. Ned's been making it very tough for these drivers to make passes. Gotta wonder if they could clear Ned, if they could drive away. So it's hard to tell who really is the class of the field. The strategy here for Timac and Juicy J very well might be to stay out a couple of extra laps to see if they are somehow faster than that number 24 Dodge Viper. And if they are, the theory would be they would be in front of them after the cycle of pit stops, just simply because they were able to spend a couple of laps not being held up by the driver of the Dodge Viper. Never mind, Juicy J abandons ship, and he is on pit road for service here at the 20-minute mark of the race. It's been a great day for him. Very much alive and in the hunt for his very first NOSSCAR GT Cup Series win. There's a couple of drivers looking for that tonight that have a very strong chance, and that includes Juicy J and Jesse Carlson in the 48 Chevy Corvette. Both those drivers in the lead pack and running solid in the top 5 all race long. And he's done it, folks. Bill Baldwin takes the 2nd place position away from Ned, and it was not easy. He's been trying to do this for the first 20 minutes of this event, finally gets the job done, and put the Mazda Atenza up into P2. The question is that, see, the draft is pretty strong here, especially on 2 different stretches here, 2 different straightaways of this circuit, maybe even 3 if you're really close for one of them. if Ned can stay close enough, he might be able to hang with Bill. Wait until the cycle of pit stops is over and then be up there battling for the lead once Timac pits, rather than battling for second. Right now, the Godfather, two-time Super GT Series champion in NOSSCAR, Bill Baldwin, holding on strong. He's got the handling advantage, the steering, but I do believe the power advantage, especially coming out of the turns. I think that advantage does go to Ned in the Dodge Viper, and he's been showing it here all race long. It's very tough to make a pass on the number 24 Dodge Viper here today. It's great to see Timac out front. He's got a win this season. It was round 2 at Willow Springs. Not compete for points in round 1, of course, in the Rolex 8. He was in the Super GT class and won it in the 2011 Audi R18, so it was a very good career choice for Timac to go ahead with the Super GT class, and now he's kind of trying to scratch and claw his way and dig out of a hole that he put himself in for not getting points in that Rolex 8. Since then, Ned has got a comfortable cushion in the point standings because of it, and now drivers like Timac and even Steven trying to gain ground back that they lost for entering the Super GT class for the Rolex 8 instead. And the battle for second is still on here between Ned and Bill Baldwin. Of course, I do believe it's going to be the battle for the lead once Timac finally comes to pit road, but so far he has not done that. He's still on the racetrack, and we're working the 25-minute mark. Gotta wonder what the strategy is for the number 32 team. But here they go again. They're side by side. Bill Baldwin is going to take the second place position for now. Ned comes right back on the inside for the next turn. Now they're going up through the S's. Jesse Carlson is about, 8-9 car lengths behind these drivers. Juicy J another 12, 14 car lengths behind Jesse. I do firmly believe 5 drivers still have a great opportunity to go out there and win this race here today, and we're watching what is going to be the battle for the lead once Timac comes to pit road. Ned takes it back. And they're working lap 18. You look at the intervals here between first and second, Timac really not too far in front of your race leader, so the pit stop is going to have to be a very quick one for Timac to stay your race leader and also stay up there within striking distance of these drivers trying to do the 2-stop strategy. I do think that Timac's going for the 1-stop. We're now at the 28-minute mark. There's pretty much no way that he's not at this point, or else if he's doing a 2-stop strategy, there was no need for him to wait an extra 8 minutes or 9 minutes to do it. So I do think that's what the strategy call is for the Nissan GTR team. .29.5-minute mark of this race. We'll have to see if he comes down pit road this time or not, and I think he will. I think it's safe to say the tires are long gone on that number 32 Nissan GTR. The pit crew is ready with air guns in hand. Ned is going to take the race lead back as a result. And Bill Baldwin is going to take over second. Jesse Carlson up to third. Juicy J runs in fourth. And all 4 of those drivers are on the 2-stop strategy. It's going to be interesting to see if Timac's 1-stopper is going to be the call, the right call. Get his second win of the season, third of the GT Cup Series career. Juicy J looking for career win number 1. Jesse Carlson looking for career win number 1. Bill Baldwin looking for career win number 5, I believe it is. And Ned looking for that second career win, second of the season as well, to go along with that Rolex 8 win. Culmination on pit road as well, pitting into the 8th place position. And down and away in the old school Earnhardt throwback paint job. Shadow comes to pit road as well in the Ferrari. One-stop strategies for Shadow as well. Bowman, I believe, has already been on pit road once. It was an unscheduled pit stop, so I believe he pushed the tires and fuel the furthest that they could go for this particular run. And it'll be interesting to see how all of this unfolds, folks. The cards are on the table. They have what they have. They've shown their hand, and now they are going for it. The question is the two-stop strategy going to be the right call? And if so, then we're watching the battle for the win between Ned and Bill Baldwin. And if it's not, and if the one-stop strategy is the way to go, can Timac still maintain good enough speed to have a gap on these drivers even after they make that second pit stop? Doing everything he can to keep Bill Baldwin behind him. Ned, quite the rising star here in NOSSCAR. Bill Baldwin, a grizzled veteran, has been here since the very beginning, ever since NOSSCAR came over to Gran Turismo Sport. Bill has been here in 2019. He seems to get a run on him every now and then, but he just can't finish the pass every time they enter another corner, whether they're still side by side or Ned gets back in front of Bill. It seems like the corner acceleration speed, that advantage greatly favors Ned, and it's made it very difficult to complete a pass on that Dodge Viper here today. And it's about the length of the front straightaway from that top 4 group battling for the lead back to Timac, who scored in 5th. You can see the time lost for staying out as long as he did on the tires that he had. It was Bill Baldwin who pit first amongst the top 4. He pit at the 18-minute mark. It was a little early, and tried to undercut the competition to take the lead. It didn't work, but now he's trying to take it the hard way with speed and by force, and he almost did it again in that same corner. He's tried it a few times on Ned, and he just can't quite get enough of a run out of the next corner to complete the pass or even stay alongside Ned. Ned's quickly able to clear him back and go back to single file. A few of these drivers have had their crack at Ned, and once in a while they'll lose second place because their momentum disappears once the door shuts from Ned. The driver's been able to complete that pass as Timac, but he lost the lead within a half a lap later, got it back a half a lap later. It's really been a hard task to get around that Dodge Viper. We should be seeing these drivers that are on the two-stop strategy come to pit road again very soon. In fact, it's already begun. At the 36-minute mark, the fuel window is open for these drivers to make it to the end from here. I don't believe they are going to need to save anything. And Jesse Carlson, the first to come to pit road. Timac will be in front of him afterwards. And so Timac was putting up a good enough pace to be in front of these drivers when they make that second pit stop, but the question is, did he save enough fuel? Was he going too hard, maybe, to keep that pace what it is? I'll tell you what, Bill Baldwin is not giving up. The Mazda Atenza has some life in it. It's got fire here today, and he is not letting Ned drive away with this one very easily. Juicy J running in third, right there, trying to pounce after that first career GT Cup Series win. Juicy pit at the 20-minute mark of this race, 2 minutes after Bill, and I believe right on the same lap as Ned in that 24 Dodge Viper. And Ned peels off to pit road. Juicy J almost followed him, but then at the last second turned back to the right and stayed on the racetrack. So Bill, your new leader. Juicy J is in second. Ned has come to pit road. And Timac will take third. There's the Twisted T24 Dodge Viper. It's been a strong race for Ned. It's been a strong season so far for him all around. And again, Timac is in front of Ned as well. So I do believe that if Ty can save the fuel, that he's got the right strategy. The problem is these drivers on the two-stop strategy are going to be coming very quickly on those fresh tires, and they might be able to close the gap. There's still 20 minutes left in this race. And while Timac is going to need to be lifting and saving and running slower lap times, these drivers will not need to save anything, and they'll be pedaling as hard as they can go. I think the strategy here, as I mentioned earlier, for Bill and Juicy J was to get in front of Ned for a couple of laps, see if they are truly quicker, and if they can be in front of Ned afterwards for running without Ned in front of them for a couple of laps. Wow, Juicy J with much more fuel left in the tank than Bill Baldwin. This puts Timac back in the race lead. He's been running very strong lap times. No signs of conserving either, so you gotta wonder if he's good to go to the finish or not. Time will tell. Bill Baldwin fueling up. Juicy J already down and away, had so much fuel already, and that's actually gonna advance him into the 4th place position, and Bill Baldwin's gonna fall to 5th. Taxia in the Audi R8 scored in the 6th place position. The last car on the lead lap, Shadow in 7th, Bowman Nation in the 8th position. Crazy Legs, last car on the racetrack, scored in P9. Well, by our calculations, everybody here is good to go to the end on the fuel that they have, except for your race leader, Timac. We are not sure about that one. The speed that he's been putting on throughout this stint is a little bit quicker than we anticipated, and we gotta wonder if he's got the fuel all the way to the finish here at Dragon Trail. If so, then it would be a masterful strategy and quite the gamble to go on out here and do a one-stopper and capitalize and capture the win. And in my opinion, the biggest gamble about it is he had a shot to win this thing. He was up there in that 5-car pack battling for the lead with Ned, trying everything they could to take the lead from that Dodge Viper, and he decided to go off sequence with everybody else, his own strategy, and risk possibly getting the win already anyways with raw speed, risk losing it, risk it for the reward and get the win here today. Must have thought he wasn't going to get around Ned that way, and he was going to beat him this way, and as you can see, it's about the full length of that straightaway back there as they go up the hill towards the final turn on this circuit. That's what separates the two front runners. Top 2 belong to the Canadians, and then the 3rd and final driver on the podium as of now is Jesse Carlson in the number 48 Chevy Corvette. We're getting interesting word from the pits right now. It turns out some of these drivers, even on the 2-stop strategy, are going to be a little bit close on fuel. Ned is unable to run as quick as he wants to because he's having to conserve all around this racetrack. Jesse Carlson doing the same thing we're hearing. Remember, they pit early. UCJ, Bill Baldwin, they stayed out a little bit. And that might be the difference maker. That might be enough. Ned is still gaining on Timac. The last 3 laps, Timac has dramatically slowed his pace here at Dragon Trail. Trying to get that Nissan GTR to the finish on the one stop. On the fuel he's got, you can see the front brake rotor glowing on that car. So he's still driving pretty hard, but the lap times have slowed. That's the thing about the one stop. No time to cool the brakes, no time to calm down and cool anything, really. You only have one chance all race long to service the car. You got to pack it full of fuel, put a fresh set of tires on it, and any adjustments you do want to make need to be done in that one stop, and you can't lose very much time or your shot for the win is gone. So Ned's going to be cutting it close on fuel. Jesse Carlson's going to be cutting it close on fuel. Bill Baldwin very well could be in the prime spot to win this thing. Out of all the top 5 drivers, it's Bill in 4th, Juicy J in 5th. Have the most fuel in their tanks. Top 3 are questionable. Timac looking to hold on for his 2nd win of the season. Ned looking for his 2nd win of the season. Jesse Carlson looking for his 1st career GT Cup Series win. Bill Baldwin looking for his 5th career win in this series. Juicy J looking for that 1st win as well. And pretty much the best of the rest at this point. Ataxia scored in 6th. He's pretty much the first driver in line that has not been up there battling for the lead all race long. Scored in 6th. First car, 1 lap down, and it's been an alright day for the Audi team. Is part-time, comes out just to log laps and learn and get prepared for a full-time run at the championship. Been a decent day for him. Ned all alone in 2nd, whereas Jesse Carlson's got a little bit to worry about. He's got Bill Baldwin in 4th closing in on him just a little bit. And I do believe all of these drivers are saving a little bit of fuel, with the exception of Bill Baldwin and Juicy J. A 1-second penalty being given to Bill there for exceeding the track limits a moment ago. You can see the red painted asphalt that's just barely outside of the rumble strips here at this circuit. It's technically out of bounds, and if you run wider than the rumble strips at this track and try to get an acceleration advantage for the next corner, the game will give you a penalty once in a while for it, and you'll need to burn that penalty within your next couple of corners by simply just lifting a little sooner heading into the corner. The game will register that you are slowing down, and it's a good way to kill the penalties without actually stopping your race car and giving up a good, 2 to 4 seconds of track time. Definitely killed his run at trying to make a move for 3rd on Jesse Carlson. He's still there, but he was gaining a little bit more rapid here a moment ago, and it looked like if he caught him, he was just going to make the pass. So now Jesse gets a little bit of a break in that situation. Juicy J runs in 5th, same distance back from the drivers running in 3rd and 4th. I'll tell you, folks, Timac's your leader, but the drivers behind him, they are coming. Under 9 minutes remaining on the clock, and once it strikes 0, the next time they come around and hit the start-finish line, they will see the checker. And if I had to take a guess right now, I believe that they are going to have about 6 laps remaining in this race, and it could be 7 depending on when it strikes 0 and where on the racetrack they are. And the leaders have cleared all the lap traffic, and now the next car in line in front of Ned is your race leader, Timac, and it's going to be a battle here. It's going to be a sprint between these two, and which one of them is going to run out of fuel? Carlson in third, still trying to hold off Bill Baldwin. Bill trying to stand on the podium in this one. Juicy J runs in fifth. The most fuel amongst all the top five, I believe, is that number 18 Nissan GTR. Great fuel mileage for the Nissan cars today. Down the long front straightaway they go. And they are now working lap 35 at Dragon Trail. Under 7 minutes remaining. Can Ned catch Timac before the end of this one without running his fuel tank dry? He has dropped his lap time significantly there for lap 34. It was a 133.3. And normally in this part of the run, they would be running about 132 and a half, maybe even a 132 flat. That's with the tire wear that they're currently dealing with out there. So Ned has drastically slowed his pace, and Timac has been running 133s for the last 7 laps in a row now. He's been running that slow pace for quite some time, trying to get that car to the finish. Ned trying to hold on to second. Jesse Carlson in the 48 car in third, making it really interesting. You gotta wonder if these drivers are worried at all about their fuel still or not. Jesse Carlson's lap times have been very quick over the last 10 laps. It doesn't appear that he's been saving anything. Head of the final corner, under 4 minutes remaining. Anyone going to pit road? No. Jesse Carlson was doing the opposite of that. He was nearly going off course and into the woods area. He kept it on the racetrack, and he still runs in third with a shot to win this thing if Timac sputters. I think it's going to take that, though. I think Ty is going to need to run out of fuel, or he's going to need to start sputtering here over the next 2 laps, and if he doesn't, he's going to win here at Dragon Trail. Ned, not quite close enough to make the move and capitalize. He's going to need Ty to run out of gas and hope that he doesn't run out of gas himself. Bill Baldwin has the most fuel amongst the top 3 right now. The second most amongst the top 5, but he's a little bit closer to the leader than Juicy J is. He's really hoping for the top 2 to both run out and get that 6th career win. Jesse Carlson saving his fuel a little bit now over the last 3 laps, but before that it was hammer time, it was go time, pedal to the metal time. He ran all the way up into 3rd, and now he finds himself in 4th and possibly trying to save a little bit of fuel. Juicy J, the most fuel of anybody amongst the top 5 runners. He's been running a smooth and consistent pace, a little bit quicker than the drivers in front of him over the last 5 or 6 laps, and that's why he's found them. There's quite the gap in between himself and the battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and now he's there, and so is Timac. He's not very far in front of your race leaders. They're almost lined up single file like they were for most of this race before. And now that they've hit the line at the 58-minute mark in 16 seconds, they're definitely going to have 2 laps to go. Now we know, and now it's confirmed, these drivers know what they need to do to get to the end of this race. Sometimes it works out when you come around and clock is closer to 0 and you can complete 1 last lap that way. And these drivers are in it for the long haul. They got to go 1 more. Timac doing everything he can to hang on to the lead. He's led the most laps today and spent the most time in the lead today because of this one-stop strategy. It didn't look like anybody was going to get around Ned for the lead anytime soon, and Timac went off sequence. He went off strategy and into a one-stop strategy where he needed to save a little bit of fuel throughout this 2nd run. He was saving it naturally in that 1st run, following the lead pack as they battled for that lead with Ned and Bill Baldwin, Jesse Carlson, Juicy J, and himself. He gambled, went into his own pit strategy, and it might pay off for him. He's just got to save another lap of fuel. He needs 1 more lap of fuel in that number 32 Nissan GTR. Down the front straightaway, for the 2nd to last time, he'll see the white flag. Final lap here at Dragon Trail. He's on lap 39 right now. You can see Ned is not too far behind him. Jesse Carlson right there in third. Juicy J runs in fourth. Bill Baldwin on pit road surrenders a podium spot, and he could not make it to the end on the fuel that he had. Question is, can the rest of these guys? Whoa, Timac took that last sector very slowly. Is he sputtering on fuel? He ran a 1:35 last time by on lap 38. It's the slowest lap he's run all race long. It could be a telltale sign that he is in big trouble. Bill confirms the 5th place spot. Bit of a heartbreaker for him. Ned trying to hang on to 2nd. He's got Jesse Carlson right behind him. Juicy J actually now challenging for that 3rd place position. Both of these two drivers are looking for that first career win in the NOSSCAR GT Cup Series. We saw Bowman Nation go off course just behind him. He's going to finish in 8th. And Crazy Leg spins right in front of the race leaders. Timac missed it by inches. And down the second straightaway on the racetrack, heading into the final turn for the final time. And Juicy J makes a big move on Ned for 2nd. Ned is running out of fuel, we're getting word. In the Dodge Viper, he's sputtering, he's out. There he is, back and forth. It's going to be a drag race for the win at Dragon Trail. Here comes Juicy J. Oh! And I think there was contact at the end. I'm really not too sure, but the win's going to go to Ty. The two GTR teammates at the line, and it's a photo finish. It's got to be the closest GT Cup Series finish in history. Out of the corner for the final time. And you can see it here. The 32 team is celebrating, and it's definitely going to the Molson Canadian team. And what a race, what a finish. It doesn't get much closer than that, folks. Let's take a better look at this. Let's go into photo mode. Unbelievable. That's all it took, folks. A one-stop strategy for the Canadian Timac. Gets his 2nd win of the season, 3rd of his GT Cup Series career. Juicy J came that close to capturing that first career NOSSCAR GT Cup Series win. Didn't look like he had a prayer for a little while. He was running in 5th and saving his fuel. The cars in front of him all ran out, and he almost had the fuel to the end. Thank you so much for everybody who joined us at Dragon Trail International Raceway on Gran Turismo Sport. Timac wins, Juicy J 2nd, and Jesse Carlson stands on the podium, finishing in 3rd. This was round 7 of the 2021 NOSSCAR GT Cup Series season. Good night, everybody, and stay fast.